Hello my loves, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina, otherwise known as Sinfulpluto, and today we are doing general timeless readings for earth signs, starting with Taurus, moving on to Virgo, and then going on to Capricorn. This may apply to your sun, moon, rising, or Venus. And yeah, I'm super excited. I'm kind of nervous. I haven't done sign readings in a minute. I've been doing like picker cards for a while and I'm kind of used to them. So I'm a little nervous, so give me a fucking break, please. Give me some fucking slack. Okay, thank you. And yeah, so I'll be leaving timestamps down below so that you can skip over to your sign. If the reading resonates with you, awesome, that's fucking great. Let me know in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up if you want to join our beautiful community by subscribing. What else can you do? You share the video if you want to. And yeah, what else? If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter at Sinfulpluto. And what's else? Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take what resonates with you and leave the rest that doesn't. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with Taurus. So Taurus, welcome to your reading. Oh my god, bitch, they're already fucking flying out. God. So let's see what's going on with you recently. What does Spirit want you to know? What do you need to hear? I wonder if some of you are like in denial. Oh shit, that's too many cards, bitch. I'm not reading all that. I wonder if some of you are in denial of something. I don't know what that could be, but that's just kind of what initially came to mind. So let's see. Oh, we have the Three of Swords. Oh shit, are you heartbroken? Oh shit, why are the cards flying out like this? Okay, maybe you're heartbroken or disappointed or feeling confused about a situation. Damn, girl, what are you going through? We have the Five of Wands. All right, okay, we have conflict, possibly competition, egos possibly clashing, and we have the Eight of Cups reversed. So right off the bat, girl, it just kind of seems as though you're feeling confused about a conflict with someone. Maybe this is a partner of yours, a romantic partner, a friend of yours, a parent, a coworker, whatever the case may be. There just seems to be a sort of just almost like hurting each other's feelings here, just saying anything or doing anything to hurt each other's feelings with the Five of Wands and the Three of Swords here. I wonder if there's just a lot of petty arguments. I wonder if you're just not seeing eye to eye. One person is kind of seeing things in one perspective and the other person is seeing things from another perspective. But then we also have this Eight of Cups reversed, which is kind of showing me a refusal or an incapability of walking away. So I wonder if for some of you, if there's a part of you that kind of like enjoys the drama. Like maybe you enjoy like provoking this other person. That's so fucked up. Why would you do that? Or maybe this person is provoking you. I don't know. Reverse the roles however way you need to, bitch. Okay, so yes, Eight of Cups reversed, just like either an unwillingness or an inability to walk away from the situation. Maybe you just find them really comfortable, but also maybe there's just a very strong emotional attachment, even though I kind of get this vibe of we know each other so well that we know how to hurt each other. We are kind of each other's best friend, but also worst enemy type of thing, where you know how to poke and prod, you know how to get under each other's skin. And there's a very strong emotional attachment here. There's almost kind of an enjoyment in the drama, an enjoyment in just the havoc that you two wreak, or maybe it's between you and a coworker, or you know, whatever the case may be. Take it how it resonates. For some of you, maybe it's a creative project in which things just aren't necessarily working out. Maybe you feel as though you keep on being met with setback after setback, and it's like hurting your feelings, and possibly your ego is getting in the way, and maybe part of you kind of like wants to give up, or maybe you just want to scratch the whole situation because it's just not working out for you. For others of you, maybe the opposite is true, where it's like you don't want to let go of this no matter how much it keeps on disappointing you. But it kind of seems that maybe you are doing the same thing over and over again in hopes to get a different result, in which case Spirit is basically saying like, that's not going to work. You're going to have to need to reassess and reanalyze how you approach the situation or this project if you really want to make it work. Because this Eight of Cups is just like showing me like there's no progress, there's stagnancy here, there's no growth here. This is literally showing me disappointment, confusion, heartbreak, and you possibly hurting your own feelings. And then Five of Wands, you know, that's the conflict. That's kind of like an inflated ego, and egos clashing, and you possibly trying to prove a point to yourself or to others that you will win, or that you will beat everyone else or something like that. Maybe you're in competition with others. Maybe you are comparing yourself to others and kind of focusing a lot on what other people are doing, and it's getting the best of you and it's blocking you creatively in some way. So if that's the case, know that comparison is the thief of joy, and the more that you compare yourself to other people, the less time you are making to focus on yourself and your projects and your needs and whatnot. The less time you give yourself to come up with your own creative ideas, your own original ideas or whatever. And know that everyone is like different. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own path. Everyone is doing their own thing. Everyone has something that they personally can offer that you cannot offer, and you have something that you can offer that not everyone else can. So focus on things that you already have and fine-tune those things, and focus on your own creativity, and do things that make you happy, do things that make you feel good, rather than doing things that you think would kind of get the social approval in some way, or that would be socially acceptable, or doing things that you think would get you a lot of praise or something like that, but it wouldn't be all that emotionally fulfilling. Does that kind of make sense? So there's that so far. And then we have the Five of Cups reversed. So yeah, there's a situation that's dragging out here. I wonder if you're focusing a lot on past hurts or past pains. I wonder if some of you are or have been grieving in a situation, grieving over the loss of a situation, but have been repressing a lot of your emotions because you don't want to feel weak in some way or another. And we also have the Tower reverse, which is literally showing an accumulation of emotions. So I really do wonder if some of you have been repressing a lot of your hurt feelings and not really taking the time to process them and to unpack the things that you are feeling, unpacking your emotions. And if so, Spirit is literally saying like, dude, we need to do something about this here. Otherwise you are going to remain stagnant in this energy, and that's not going to do anything for you. It's just only going to breed complacency. You know what I mean? And we have this Empress card, which is literally your card, and we see her kind of holding her heart here. So I really feel as though Spirit is encouraging you to hold space for you, for your heart, for your feelings, which of course can be very uncomfortable for an earth sign, because you're like, ew, this is not practical. This is ugly. This is very subjective. This is very, I don't understand this. This is not logical. I don't like it. Ugh. And as a Taurus rising, I definitely get you. As an Aquarius moon, I definitely get you. But at the same time, by continuing to repress and to allow these feelings to accumulate, they are eventually going to explode, right? And that's why we have this Tower reverse. It's an accumulation that is going to lead to an eventual explosion. And so you can possibly make it easier for yourself by talking it out with a friend of yours that you know you can trust, by journaling, by simply acknowledging and validating the way that you feel. Saying, I'm allowed to feel this way. I'm allowed to feel heartbroken, to feel disappointed, to feel betrayed. I am allowed to feel these things. Maybe I didn't know any better, and that is okay. Now I know better, and now I can learn from the situation. Be careful of trying to blame yourself for anything like that, or just fixating so much on the things that went wrong, or focusing so much on the things that simply were outside of your control. You know, you can't control the way that other people react or the way that other people kind of handle situations. You know, there are just some things that there's no way for you to predict. There's no way for you to control, like I said. So don't be so hard on yourself about those things, because at the end of the day, like, there's always a silver lining that can be found here. And it's always so important to just focus on what you can do for yourself. And what you can do for yourself is to unpack whatever hurt feelings that you have, acknowledge them and validate them, so that you can come out the better person. Maybe people in your life have convinced you that you shouldn't be emotional, or that it's wrong to be emotional, and that's just not true. That's not fact at all. You know, there has to be a balance in everything. By not allowing yourself to cry, you are denying yourself, your body, like a function that it has, a bodily function, and that's not okay. You know what I mean? And so maybe some of you are in need of a good cry. Maybe some of you are in need of just a good venting session, or a dance session where you get to release all of these pent up emotions. Maybe it's pent up anger and frustration, right? With that Three of Swords and the Five of Wands, maybe you're just feeling really frustrated with yourself and angry for yourself for feeling hurt. Maybe you're just like, there's like, I shouldn't let this hurt me. It's not that big of a deal, you know, trying to minimize your feelings, but it's like, you're allowed to feel that way. You're allowed to feel hurt. You're only human, you know what I mean? It might be abnormal even if you weren't hurt, if you didn't have disappointment, like, or if you didn't feel disappointed about the situation, you know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. I was about to say spirit, just keep that in mind, Taurus. At the end of the day, feelings are feelings. They're not gonna go away. You can repress them all they want, but eventually they're gonna come to the surface. And I know that for you, Taurus, you tend to repress a lot, and you just stay quiet, and you just let it soak in, and you let it just build and build and build, and then eventually you just take out your anger on an unsuspecting victim, on someone who doesn't have anything to do with the original situation, and that's not fair to them either. So you also have to keep that in mind, you know what I mean? So there's that. So yes, be patient with yourself, cater to your heart, cater to your feelings. Maybe self-care is in the cards for you. You know, taking a bubble bath, journaling, doing some yoga, breath work, going on hikes, going out in nature, sitting on the grass, standing on top of dirt, something like that. That sort of thing. It's really important for you to just be compassionate with yourself. And by doing that, you allow yourself to essentially move forward and to let go of this past baggage. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I feel like it's really important for you to feel what you need to feel, and also perhaps find a way to intellectualize your feelings, and to find a way to word them. And maybe you could do that by just talking to someone, and that might help you to better understand the way that you are feeling, and give a bit of a different perspective, if you will. But yes, overall, be patient with yourself. Healing is not linear. It takes time, definitely. It takes time, and it takes some effort, some proper effort. I don't even know what that was. But yes, it takes some time. It takes patience. Don't try to rush yourself. Don't try to be like, when is this going to be over? When I'm going to stop feeling hurt? Because it's like, that's not how it works. So yes, that is what I have for you, Taurus. I hope it resonates. I hope you were able to get something out of this. Let me know in the comments down below if you did. And with that being said, I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey Virgo, welcome to your reading. Let's just get right into the cards and see what they have to say. Yeah. Let's see what they're saying. What cards, what message. Am I okay? Oh my God. Oh shit. Okay, so 2 cards flew out. We have the Strength card reversed and the 8 of Swords reversed. Interesting. Wow. I wonder what you're feeling insecure about, Virgo. Maybe this relates to a project of yours. Maybe this relates to self-worth or something. Maybe you're dealing with a Leo. I don't know. So Strength card reversed. So that's the Leo card. Like I said, maybe you're dealing with a Leo. Maybe you have Leo placements. I'm not sure. But if not, then Strength reversed can just indicate an overall sense of insecurity, possibly not feeling good enough for something, or possibly feeling undeserving of something, or maybe it's undeserving of someone, possibly, I don't know. Possibly feeling undeserving of a job or a project or being accepted into something, I don't know, your life like that. And then we have the Eight of Swords reversed, which is basically talking about how you have the power to free yourself from this mindset. It kind of looks like you are kind of stuck in your own self-made mental prison, if you will, in which you do have the key, but you're just so focused on possibly what you don't have, or focused so much on things just kind of falling apart that it's kind of hard to see how powerful you actually are, or how talented or skilled you actually are. So I wonder if that's how you've been feeling, and if so, then Spirit could possibly just be telling you that you are a lot more powerful than you believe, and you are a lot more capable than you give yourself credit for. I know that Virgos, you can be like perpetually insecure about something, or you're always striving for perfection, and that can be a very tricky line to walk down, to toe along, because there is no such thing as perfection, at least not an objective one that is universal for everyone. You know, there's very much kind of like everyone has different versions of it. And so I feel like some of you might be holding yourself to an unrealistic standard and kind of beating yourself up for certain mistakes that you've made, and kind of being like, I should have known better, should have done this, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, sometimes you simply don't know any better. Sometimes you have to make these mistakes so that you can learn from the experience. It doesn't mean that you're a shitty person. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. That's nothing at all. It kind of seems as though there's a very fragile ego here, in which you are kind of just like walking on your toes, trying not to make any mistakes, but that's a very unrealistic standard to hold yourself on, and you're only going to disappoint yourself by doing that. We have the Five of Wands, which is conflict. Maybe you are having conflict with someone. Maybe this is internal conflict within yourself. Maybe there is a sort of competition here. Maybe you feel that you are in competition with others. Maybe you are comparing yourself to others, focusing a lot on what other people are doing, and that is kind of getting the best of you here. Because the more you focus on other people, the less you focus on yourself. And you need, like, Spirit is saying here, like, you need to stop worrying so much about what other people are doing. Yeah, they might have really cool ideas, but what if you have other cool ideas too? You know? I also feel like there's this vibe of you possibly giving up on yourself very quickly because you see other people succeeding. You're like, oh, like, I'll never be like them. Well, how would you know you gave up? Like, how would you know? You gave up really quickly, so how would you know if you would never reach that point? Did you try hard enough? Obviously, like, I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to do, whatever it is that you want to achieve. It's not always easy, it's not supposed to be easy, but are you just going to sit back and kind of accept defeat, or are you going to try again? That's completely up to you. And so I think Spirit is kind of saying to light a fire under your ass, in terms of whatever it is that you want to approach, or whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe there's something that you want to apply to. Maybe there's a project that you want to start. Maybe there's, I don't know, a person that you want to get close to, whatever the case may be. I don't fucking know. And a part of you is like, oh, like, this person isn't going to be into me. I'm not that cool. This job isn't going to accept me. There are probably a bunch of other applicants that are a lot more qualified for the job than I am. Okay, there are plenty of people who are underqualified for a job and they still get the job because they have other things to offer. Simple as that. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. It doesn't always have to be what's on paper. It can be personality, it can be character. There are other things that you can bring to the table that don't always have to be what is physically on print, if you will. You know what I mean? I think it has a lot to do with it's character building for you, Virgo. So just keep that in mind. Like, if there's just something that you want to do, don't immediately just accept defeat if you don't get accepted the first time, or if things don't work out the first time. Try again, try a different approach and see how it works out for you. You never know where it could get you, right? And also don't worry so much about what other people are doing. What does that matter? Yeah, that person might be overqualified, and they maybe not statistically, but based off of their resume or something, sure, they might have better qualifications, but that doesn't mean that you are any less likely to get the job. especially if you have other things to bring to the table that other person doesn't have to offer. Yeah, they might be book smart, but are they clever? Are they good at talking to customers? Like, sure, they have they can have a degree, but what else do you have? Like, you are relatable, for example. Maybe you're just really funny. Maybe you're really good at teamwork. I don't fucking know. Like, there are other things that you probably have to offer that you are not giving yourself enough credit for. So there's that. Why did I look pained doing that? My God. Yeah. Okay, we have the Moon card, which is like secrets. It can be something that you are not aware of. It can be repressed feelings from the past. So I wonder if Spirit is encouraging you to really face certain insecurities or repressed feelings that you have not dealt with up until this point here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there are certain things that might not necessarily be clear to you, that might be in your subconscious, that are possibly coming back to the surface, that are kind of battling their way up to you, to your conscious mind, that may need to be dealt with. And also with that Five of Wands and with the Moon card, it kind of looks like you fighting to keep whatever is repressed in your, like, fighting to keep it down, fighting to keep something away from your conscious awareness. Like, it's almost like a part of you is just fighting to not be aware of something, or fighting to continue to be in denial of something along those lines. And if that's the case, why? What are you so scared of facing? What are you so scared of? Like, if you look in the mirror, what do you think that you're gonna see that is gonna scare you or make you uncomfortable? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what it looks like here. What are you fighting against? What are you possibly trying to run away from here? And I feel that possibly journaling could be really helpful for you, or for some of you at least. You might get a lot of clarity. And also maybe talking to someone or venting to someone that you're close to, or who just kind of understands you, because kind of like on the same wavelength as you. Talking to them and kind of hearing what they have to say and hearing their perspective, that might be really helpful for you. I also feel like you need to break the image that you have of yourself. I feel that you might have a certain perception of yourself in your head, and it stops you from possibly admitting certain things about yourself, or looking at certain realities, or maybe it stops you from just doing certain things, you know, that whole thing that we were just talking about. And so if that's the case, then Spirit is basically saying, like, we need to work on that, and it's time to basically kind of almost start working on desensitizing yourself and shattering the image that you have of yourself, and realize that you are ever changing, and that you are evolving, and that you are not a stagnant being, and you might not be as quote unquote perfect as you think that you are, or as you project yourself to be. You know, maybe that's like a coping mechanism where it's like, I'm so put together, I'm so this, I'm so that. But if you really think about it, it's like, maybe you're not all that put together, and that is more than okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because not everyone is. Literally, who is put together, especially during a pandemic? You know what I mean? So maybe that's something that kind of needs to come into play now, is just kind of having a reality check in that way, and thinking of how you might be falsely perceiving yourself somehow, but also being a lot more realistic with yourself in terms of how you approach situations, or whatever the case may be. It's almost like maybe some of you think, for example, like, I'm so good with boundaries, I'm so good at putting people in their place, blah, 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 blah. And that might be the case. Maybe you do have tendencies in which, in some circumstances, you are good at that. But maybe there are other things in which those boundaries are not instilled for long. Maybe initially you're good at instilling the boundary, but maybe over time you find it difficult to maintain them over time. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's something that needs to be worked on, and maybe that's kind of like a reality that needs to be dealt with in some way. So yeah. What's else? I also wonder if you're just in a situation that makes you feel very insecure with the Strength card reversed, that just makes you feel very worthless or something, and you want to break out of that situation with this Eight of Swords reversed. I also feel that for some of you, like if you're stuck in a situation with someone or something, or like even a job, I wonder if you stayed in this situation because you feared confrontation or you feared a conflict in some way. I wonder if some of you tried to like brush things under the rug and it just didn't really work out for you and possibly made things worse. And maybe that's what the Moon card is showing here, kind of like repressed things, kind of building up over time, or like just reliving certain insecurities or something along those lines. And I wonder if Spirit is kind of saying like you have the power to free yourself from this situation. You don't have to continue succumbing yourself to all of this or subjecting yourself to this treatment from this person or whatever. It kind of just seems like it's time to get things going, if you will. And you do have the strength to do things on your own. You do have the strength to be independent and to receive a type of love that you want, I guess. Yeah. So yeah. Bro, I'm so boring. I'm such a Taurus rising. My God. I hope that resonates. I hope you were able to get something out of this, Virgo. And with that being said, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey Capricorn, welcome to your reading. Let's just go ahead and get right into what Spirit wants to share with you right now. So yeah. Ew, you know, so ugly. Please. Okay, let's see. What does Spirit want to share with Capricorns? Oh shit, we got a card. We got 3 cards. Oh my God. Oh my God, we got 4 cards. Oh my God, we have 5, 6, 7, bitch. What just happened? What did I just witness? Oh my God. Are you okay? Okay, we have the Hermit card upright. Okay, so maybe you're dealing with a Virgo, or maybe you have just been isolating yourselves recently. Maybe you have been taking more time for yourself. Maybe you're just realizing that the company that you have right now just isn't really cutting it anymore, and you're just trying to get away from the crowd. Okay, interesting. We have the Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, so maybe some of you are feeling very emotionally overwhelmed, or maybe you are dealing with the Queen of Cups reversed, so someone who is just very sensitive and someone who you feel like you have to filter yourself around. We have the Four of Pentacles, which can indicate stubbornness. It can indicate clinginess. It can indicate like materialism in some way or superficiality in some way. We have the Star reversed. I wonder if you are kind of being hit with the reality check. We have Death card reversed. So maybe some of you are dealing with an Aquarius or with a Scorpio or a water sign, or maybe those are your own placements. I'm not sure. Damn, we have a lot of major, okay, we have a lot of major arcana here. We have the Hierophant. So commitment, routine, groundedness, tradition, something long-term. Doing what you think is right or doing what is expected of you. Okay. And then we have the Four of Wands reversed. So I'm going to keep this as the card that is at the bottom of the deck, but at the actual bottom of the deck is the Eight of Cups reversed. So this is showing me a strong emotional attachment that you're not willing to let go of. Maybe there's a fear of walking away, but this is also stagnancy for you, Capricorn. So I really wonder what's going on here. What the hell? And we have this Four of Wands reversed as well, which is showing me a questioning of like yourself. Like there's a broken foundation here. Like this is issues with your sense of self, or questioning the foundations of a situation in your life or a romantic relationship in your life. Maybe there's broken trust between you and another person. Maybe you're just questioning whether this is something that you actually want. Maybe you're questioning what your intentions are within this dynamic or in the situation or project, whatever the case may be. Right? So we have the Hermit. Maybe like I said, maybe some of you have been taking in a lot of alone time because you're dealing with the Queen of Cups reversed, or maybe again, this is you, but maybe some of you are dealing with the Queen of Cups reversed, someone who is just kind of possibly emotionally unstable in some way, or someone who expects a lot out of you, or is just like they expect a lot out of you and they don't necessarily reciprocate the same, or maybe they're just very emotionally unpredictable. You know, when they're very moody, you know, maybe they act one way with you one second and the next they just kind of just flip off for whatever reason, or for seemingly no reason, or whatever the case may be. Like, they're just very unpredictable for you somehow. And especially like as an earth sign, you're like, yo, what did I do? Like, why are you acting this way? I don't understand what's happening right now. So maybe that's kind of what's happening here. And we have the Four of Pentacles, which kind of reads as kind of clinging onto this person, or like it's like a sense of safety. It's a comfort zone, holding on to something that is familiar to you, that is very comfortable to you. Maybe this person provides a sense of comfortability or security with you. So maybe that's why you have been kind of tolerating these mood swings with them, or the emotional unpredictability with them. But the more that they lash out against you, it kind of just seems to push you away here, because you're literally coming through as the Hermit card. I really do feel that it's you here who is the Hermit. So you're holding on to this person because they symbolize some form of security, or maybe they're helping you out materially in some way. But we have the Star reversed, so like your image of them is kind of shattering before your eyes, and you're kind of seeing them for who they are, or seeing them for who they are, and rather than the person that they pretended to be, right? Because with the Queen of Cups reversed, like I said, this can be someone moody or whatever. So maybe in the beginning of the relationship, they were very understanding, very compassionate, very nurturing, very sensitive. They encouraged you to kind of verbalize your emotions and made you believe that you were safe to express your emotions. But over time, it seems that may have kind of switched, and the image that they projected kind of just slowly dissipated the more comfortable that you got with one another. And the Star card reverse, it's almost like now there's just this feeling of disappointment, because this isn't really what you signed up for. This isn't really what you wanted. And yeah, and so there's just that feeling of disappointment, of like that idealization, right, being shattered. They are no longer a star in your eyes. You were seeing the reality of the situation, and it's an ugly reality. But yet we have this Death card reverse, which is possibly you resisting change. You know, even though you see them for who they are and you don't like it, a part of you is holding on to them for some reason. And it could be because they provide you with a sense of security with that Four of Pentacles, with physical security. Maybe they've provided a home for you, or like I said, maybe they've helped you out materially or financially in some sort of way, physically in some sort of way. Maybe they've given you a lot of physical things, a lot of physical gifts that you really like, whatever it is. But it doesn't seem all that worth it, because emotionally they just don't really seem to cater to you, and they just seem to continue to push you away, and you know that this isn't really what you want. So I just really wonder why you continue to kind of subject yourself to this. And we have this Hierophant card here, so this can indicate like routine or tradition. So maybe you're just the type where it's like you are in it for the long haul and you don't want to give up, or maybe you're just doing this because you think that this is what is expected of you. Maybe you expect yourself, or maybe others expect you to kind of just endure all of this hardship, or all of these moody episodes, if you will, because you think that's what a good partner should be doing, or what a good friend should be doing. But it's like, no, you know, a good friend doesn't just kind of sit back and tolerate mistreatment. You know what I mean? You know, that's kind of just continuing to enable this other person's bad behavior, and that's not good either, you know? So it just leads to stagnancy. And I can understand if you have an emotional attachment to this person, especially if they have helped you materially or physically in some way, or financially in some way. Maybe you feel like, oh my God, they've helped me in this way, so I should just stay around. But it's like, at the same time, yeah, they may have helped you, but that's not enough of a justification for you to tolerate mistreatment. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up here. And Death reverse, that's like resistance to change. That's also stagnancy. And then the Hierophant, right, that's Taurus. I also view it as Capricorn. That can be institutions. Maybe they helped you get a job or something. I don't know. I'm just looking at the Hierophant. I feel like this is kind of the reason why you choose to stay here. Like, I just get the vibe that you don't want to go against the grain, that you don't want to make waves, that you don't want to make conflict, right? Because it's like conformity. Like, you are just someone who is used to conforming and kind of doing what is told of you, kind of just obeying people maybe, but that's just not going to work here. That's not. And so Spirit is here to tell you that you deserve so much better, and it's time to really think about like what it is that you do deserve. And if this person just keeps on pushing you away to the point that you're possibly looking at other people, then consider whether it really is worth staying here. You know, I understand that you don't want maybe confrontation, or you don't want to make waves, or you don't want to make this person feel bad, but it's like, this person clearly has no problem making you feel bad. They clearly have no problem mistreating you and disrespecting you. So in this case, it's very fair for you to do the right thing for yourself, which is either breaking things off with this person or instilling actual boundaries with this person and putting this person in their place. You know, like, remaining submissive and not really doing anything, or being passive and just kind of taking all of the blows and kind of just like letting it slide, that's not going to do anything for you. And like I said, this person is just pushing you away in all of this, and it kind of begs the question of whether you and this person are actually compatible, or you and this job are actually compatible in different ways, whether it is like emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever the case may be. Like, are you actually compatible as people together, or is there just no chemistry there? And if there's not, then what are you really staying here for? And consider why you might be staying there. Like, what is it about this sense of security that just makes you want to stay so badly? Like, maybe there's something that we need to unpack with this Four of Pentacles here in terms of that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I feel like for some of you with this Hierophant card, like, this could just be suggesting here that it's really important for you to start building a stronger sense of self, especially with that Four of Wands reverse. Like, it seems as though there's issues with your almost like self-identity or your self-concept. And maybe that is what has led you to kind of enduring and tolerating so much, because there's just like, you genuinely feel that this is what you deserve, and this is like the treatment that you've always gotten, so it just kind of lines up with everything. And so you're like, oh, like, there's no actually a problem with this, it's fine. And it's like, no, that there is actually a problem here. No one should be doing that to you. No one should just be disrespecting you and lashing out on you and kind of just switching up on you whenever it serves them and works for them, you know? So maybe it's really time to work on your sense of self, work on your self-esteem, and do things that essentially empower you and make you feel good. And one of those things can possibly be cutting things off with this person, and also not being so hard on yourself and changing the mindset that you deserve to be treated badly, or that you deserve for this person to yell at you, or whatever the case may be. And obviously that's easier said than done, and it definitely does take time. But maybe it's time to consider taking those first few steps. Maybe it's time for you to really start just being a lot more compassionate with yourself, and not holding yourself to such a high standard to the point that you feel like a failure whenever you mess something up. Maybe it's time to find better people to surround yourself with, better people who make you feel empowered and who are very compassionate with you and who are very understanding of you. Maybe it's time to find people like that. And of course, it might be difficult to find people like that, but over time you'll find them. So there's that. Maybe journaling could be helpful for you, or doing things that just make you feel good, whether it's yoga, going on walks, taking time for yourself to introspect and to reflect. Things along those lines, you know, like, you know yourself best, so do things that make you happy. Maybe it means reconnecting with your inner child, doing things that, you know, you used to love to do as a kid, allowing yourself to do things that you weren't allowed to do as a kid, or that you never had the opportunity to do as a kid, because, you know, you felt like you had to grow up very quickly. So maybe there's that, right? And if there are people in your life who are just very judgmental towards you, like, cut them off, because why do you need those people if they're not accepting of you and who you are? Like, there are people out there who are going to accept you and your hobbies and your interests and all of that. And if they don't, then that's not your friend. That's not your person. Don't worry about trying to please other people or worrying about what other people think. You know, like, it's stupid to worry about that. We only have one life. Like, if you're into one thing or another that maybe is unconventional, that's fine. There are probably other people who are into the same thing. That doesn't make you weird. It doesn't make you like an anomaly or some shit. I don't know. So yes, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates. I hope you were able to get something out of this. And with that being said, I will talk to you later. Bye.